Do you want to understand how the younger generations are spending their time? In this video, that's exactly what I talk about. So this is episode 1 of the Warna Weekly, a 10-part series across the summer that explores what Generation Z or the younger generations are doing with their time. Every week, every Tuesday specifically, I'm going to be bringing you information about one brand or product we're loving, one thing we're doing on our phones, whether that's social media, whether that's an app we're downloading, and one influencer, one person we're following. My hope is that you will then take this information, go and explore it on your own, and see how you can apply it to your brand, to your company, to your personal life. There's so much content in the world, so many websites, so many blogs, but sometimes you don't have the time to do that. And if it's not an interest of yours, then it's difficult to find that extra time to do something that you're not really interested in. So what I'm going to talk about in this video series is what dominates my social media feeds, it's what dominates my social life, and it's actually what dominates my student life as well. I was born in '95, so I'm technically on the upper end of Generation Z, but there's a lot of conflation between when it ends, when it starts. You could call me a hybrid Gen Z, millennial, whatever. The point is, I'm in this sphere, and I take these observations from my conversations with friends, from the content I consume, and I try and condense it into something that's digestible, that you can learn from, and that can add some value to whatever you're trying to do. So for number 1, the brand I wanted to talk about this week was Glossier. Now, you've probably heard about Glossier. It's one of the fastest growing makeup brands in the world right now, and it was launched in 2014 by its founder, Emily Weiss. But I'm not here to talk about the background of Glossier because you can easily find that on Google. What I want to talk about is why we like it. Firstly, I would say we love Glossier just because it really listens to us. It listens to us as the consumer, and it really gets us involved in the production process. It makes us feel like as if we're kind of a co-creator in the product lines. So for example, there was a customer who wanted Glossier to look into making SPF products. So that's exactly what it went and did. And another brand I can think of who does that very well is Pret. Pret quite literally asks its customers what products it wants on its shelves. It's also well known that Glossier has its own Slack channel for its top 100 consumers, where they all kind of talk about what they think of the products, what they want to see next. They really share stories. There are about 1,000 messages a day that go on in that group, and that's how Glossier listens. Another reason is that Glossier is just minimalist. It's associated with the washed out pink, so when you see that pink, you know it's Glossier, and also a simple, bold font. So you see the two together, you instantly recognize the brand. If you check out his Instagram page, you will see that most of the photos are taken with an iPhone. There's no DSLR, it's not trying to be pretentious, and it's very inclusive, and that's what it prides itself on, and that's why we love it. It makes everyone feel special, and it also puts the important things first. It's skincare first, not makeup. When you look at Glossier, when you interact with Glossier, it just feels like you're talking with a mate. So, number 2, what are we doing on our phones? You've probably been inundated with content about IGTV or Instagram TV, but I thought I can't really not touch on it because that's exactly what we're doing on our phones at the moment. IGTV is Instagram's new long-form video content platform. Anyone can create videos from 15 seconds to 10 minutes. Established creators and a selected few can create up to 1 hour. The main thing to realise is it's in vertical format, so it's not like YouTube, it's not like LinkedIn video, it's in vertical format, designed especially for the phone, mobile first. A lot of content creators, obviously they don't know how to use the platform, it's brand new for everyone, but they've literally just taken their video from YouTube, repurposed it straight onto Instagram, asking us to turn our phones. I like watching in vertical. I'm used to watching Snapchat stories. I go through Snapchat news every day. It's the people I see making specific content already for IGTV that are really gonna do well. If we know you've made an effort for us, we're more likely to come back. The questions we're asking are, how are people who aren't established on social media gonna break through? The people who seem to be doing well are of course the people with hundreds of thousands of followers. Will they help non-creators become creators? We're just gonna have to wait and see. The last thing I'll say on IGTV is, I know there's usually a maximum of 10 minutes or an hour for certain creators, but to be honest, I can't see myself watching a video for more than 10 minutes. Unless it's exceptional. It's a bit messy, there's a bit too much at the moment, so Instagram is definitely gonna have to find a better way to filter its content. So for the last segment this week, I'm talking about who we're following. We are following Lily Singh. If you haven't heard of Lily Singh, she's one of YouTube's biggest stars. She's got 14 million subscribers, and that doesn't even count what's going on her other social media platforms. But I'm focusing on YouTube because that was where she started out. Lily Singh goes by the name of Superwoman. She just takes life situations like dating, like standing in an elevator, like eating at a restaurant. She takes those experiences and she just makes them hilarious, but so relatable at the same time. She's not afraid to talk about her past, the fact that her content creation, her inspiration comes from when she had depression back as a student. Also, like Glossier, she just gets us. It just feels like she's created a real community of people. Of course, you've got all the terrible things going on in the world. Everyone is super serious, and with good reason, but sometimes you need someone to cut through that. She mocks herself, she doesn't take herself too seriously, and that's what we love, because we kind of wish we could do that ourselves. And there is a reason why comedy is one of the biggest categories on YouTube, and she dominates it. So if you have heard of her, if you haven't heard of her, definitely consider subscribing to her channel, because she really gets to the bottom of what goes on in the younger generation's minds, and she's exactly who we're following. So that's the end of the first ever Warna Weekly, bringing you insights into what Generation Z, the younger generations, are doing with their time. Go check them out yourselves, go explore. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Let me know if there's anything you want me to cover in future episodes, and please do consider subscribing if you want updates like this every Tuesday, and I'm hoping they're only gonna get better from here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.